the background.
Like,
Flags. Yeah. All right. So let's start with since it's so hot out, we're going to start with some breathing just to kind of reset and cool down a little bit first. So we're going to just take a couple of breaths at our regular pace. So just inhale and exhale. You don't have to count. You don't have to think about it. Just 2 or 3 regular breaths. Excellent. And then we're going to do, it's called Shitali. It's kind of like air conditioner breath is would be a good name for it. So what we're doing is we're going to inhale through the mouth and exhale out through the nose. And 2 options with the tongue. So if you can curl the tongue, kind of like a tube like that. If you can't, tuck the tongue behind the back teeth. So what we're doing is bringing air in over the tongue, which is going to moisten it and cool it as it comes in, and then we're going to exhale out the nose. So 3 to 5, depending on how long your breath is. Go ahead and start. So inhale, and then exhale out through the nose. If you want, you can close your eyes. And one or two more. Excellent. And then we're going to do one more breath. We're going to do alternate nostril breathing. And then we'll start some movements. All right, so for alternate nostril breath, if you haven't done it before, we use the thumb to close off the right nostril, and then the ring finger closes off the left nostril. There's more advanced ways to do this, but we're just gonna stick with the easy peasy for now. So it's an inhale up one side, exhale out the other, back up and down the first side. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna close off the right side. Inhale left nostril. Close off the left side, exhale right. Inhale right nostril. Close off the right side, exhale left. We'll do 2 more rounds. Inhale left. Close off the left side, exhale right. Inhale right. Close off the right, exhale left. And then 1 more round. Inhale left. Close off the left side, exhale right. Inhale right. Close off the right, exhale left. Excellent. Release the hand. Take 2 or 3 regular breaths. Excellent. All right, so let's get the body moving here gently. Not going to overdo it. Don't get overheated. If you're feeling kind of slow down, have a seat, whatever you need to do. We've got wildfire smoke coming in tomorrow, maybe. So take it easy. Yay! All right, let's start with the feet here. So we're going to sit up as close as possible to this 90-degree angle. I know it might not be comfortable. You can sit up on a blanket or towel if you like, or flat on the floor. I'm going to draw the toes towards the chest, keeping the knees soft so we're not hyperextending the knees. Excellent. And then we're going to point and flex. You can do one at a time, both together. Getting some movement into those ankles. Excellent. Okay, release that, and then we're going to do circles around with the feet. Do one direction and then the other. Do opposites or one at a time. Excellent. All right, release that. At any point, if you want to shake the feet, that's fine. Next, we're going to do the supinate and pronate. So sole of the foot goes side to side. And then you can do one at a time or both together or opposites. Excellent. And then we're going to finish off with windshield wipers. Feeling that movement coming all the way up into the hip sockets. Excellent. Release and shake it out. All right, just for fun, let's throw in a windshield wiper with the knees here before we move up to the hands. So we're leaning back onto the hands and we're just going to go side to side with the knees. It's a little bit different movement in those hip joints. Excellent. All right, release that and then sitting back up. And you can cross the legs or keep the legs out straight if you like. Bring the arms out in front, tuck the thumb, wrap the fingers around, and make circles with the wrists. Getting into the elbows and the shoulders. Excellent. All right, release that. If you want, you can check it out. And then let's do this one. Palms together, interlace the fingers, and make figure eights. Nice. And then we're going to pull the hands apart, switch which fingers on top. Do a few more. Excellent. Release that and shake it out. Let's do two more with the wrists here. So we're going to extend one arm out, point fingers up towards the ceiling. And then with the other hand, we're going to gently pull the fingers back towards the shoulder. Excellent. And then point fingers down towards the floor, pushing the hands into each other. So we're opening up on the top of that forearm there. Excellent. Release that. Shake it out. Let's do the other side. Extend the fingers up towards the ceiling, gently pull back towards the shoulder. That's opening up on that lower. Excellent. And then fingers down towards the floor, pushing hands into each other. Opening up on the top there. Excellent. And release and shake. All right, let's come up to the neck. So again, sitting up nice and tall, we're going to inhale. On the exhale, chin drops down to the chest. On the inhale, looking up towards the ceiling. And then exhale all the way back down. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, bring it back down. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. One more full time. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. All right, back to neutral. With the inhale, on the exhale, ear to shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Inhale, center. Exhale, back to the first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. Inhale, center. One more time, each side, back to the first side. If you want, you can bring that same arm out and over, resting gently on the opposite side of the head. And we're going to use the breath here, breathing into any tension that you're finding in the neck or shoulder. And then release the tension with the exhale. Excellent. And then when you're ready to come out, inhale, head comes up, arm comes down, exhale, other side. The other arm can come out and over, resting gently on that side of the head. And again, using the breath to release the tension. Inhale, the neck or shoulder. And then with the exhale, release the tension. Excellent. And then when you're ready, inhale, head comes up and release the arm. Nice. All right, one more here with the neck. So looking straight ahead on the inhale. On the exhale, we're turning the chin towards the shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale and exhale. Excellent. Inhale, back to center. One more time, each side. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Nice. Inhale, back to center. And then let's do the shoulders. So we're going to inhale forward and up. Exhale, down and back. Excellent. Reverse. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, down and forward. Nice. Couple more, either direction or straight up and down. Nice. All right, release that, and then we're going to do our 6 directions of the spine, and then we'll come up to hands and knees. All right. Hands under the knees if the legs are crossed, or under the thighs if your legs are out straight. We're going to start with an exhale back to cat. Inhale, cow, looking up. And then exhale back. Excellent. And then we're going to finish off, come back to neutral. And then let's do our laterals. So one hand's going to come down to the floor. Inhale this other arm up. Exhale, bring it back. Second side, inhale. And exhale. Nice. And then just a couple each side, back and forth. Moving nice and slow. Feeling all that space you're making in between the rib bones. Excellent. One more time each side, or finish off evenly. Excellent. And back to center. Awesome. All right. Next, we're going to do a twist. So again, inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, we're going to turn to the first side. Inhale, center. Exhale, second side. One more time each side, or finish off evenly. Nice. And then back to center. Let's do one counter pose here. So we're going to do forward fold. If they're not out already, let's bring the legs out in front. If you want, you can kind of wake up the legs, pound them into the mat. And then let's do a few forward folds here. All right, so here we go. Inhale, using our friend gravity. On the exhale, fold forward. Wherever you reach, tap down. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bring it back. Nice. Excellent. Do one more, fold down, grab the legs wherever you reach. We're going to pull the chest forward, and then exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine if that's comfortable. One more breath here. And then when you're ready to come out, extend the arms over the legs, push the legs into the floor. Inhale. Yep. Exhale and release. Nice. All right, let's come up to hands and knees. And we're going to start with a fabulous cat and cow here. So we'll start with the exhale. Cat, tuck the chin and the tailbone, pulling the belly button up to the spine. On the inhale, reverse that spinal curve, looking towards the horizon without dumping the belly down. Exhale back to cat. Inhale, cow. And then back and forth a few times. On your next cow, we're going to pause for a moment and add child's pose. So inhale, cow, exhale, cat, and then we're going to send the hips back towards the heels for child's pose. And then you can stay there, or inhale back up to cow, exhale, cat, down to child's. Let's do one more. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, cat, down to child's pose. So if you want, we'll be here for just a few moments. Big toes together, knees come out wide. And stack the hands under the forehead, or rest the forehead on the floor. Excellent. When you're ready, you're going to come up with an inhale. And then we're going to do a bit of a sole of the foot opener. So we're going to curl the toes under. And if you get like Charlie horses or calf cramps, I'm going to suggest to skip this one. But otherwise, curl the toes under it, and we're just going to send the hips back towards the heels. Just go till you reach that edge of tension. Don't want it to be painful. And then you can come back up and do it one more time if you like. Excellent. Back up to table. If it feels okay, you can tap the tops of the feet onto the mat. Excellent. All right, so let's do spinal balance and then we'll come up to standing. All right, so here we go. Oh, no, what? We'll do spinal balance and then gate pose and then come up. All right, one arm out, opposite leg back. If that's too much, you can keep the toes on the floor. And then an option to make it more difficult, you can bring the elbow and the knees together. That would be an exhale, inhale, open back up. Or just hold the extension of the opposite limbs. But just keep the breath going. Excellent. And then we'll release that side, coming to the other side, the other leg and the other arm, extending. If that's too much, you can keep the toes on the floor. And to make it more difficult, if that's in your practice today, elbow to knee. That's the exhale, inhale, extend back out. Keep the breath going. Excellent, and release. All right, sorry, I'm gonna get a drink of water so I don't cough. Then we're gonna come into gate pose. All right, so we're gonna start in table and then we're gonna extend one foot out to the side. On the inhale, that same hand comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring it back. And again, inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Excellent. Okay, tuck that knee under, other foot goes out. And then inhale, bring that same arm up. Exhale, bring it down. And again, inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Tuck that knee under. Now we're going to do our high gate. So we're going to bring one foot out to the side again. This hand can be on the hip or down that leg. This time we're doing the opposite arm up. Inhale, bring that arm up. And then on the exhale, we're going to bring that hand towards the foot. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, over. Inhale, vertical. One more time. Exhale, over. Inhale, up. And then on the exhale, bring that arm down by your side. You can come down and tuck that knee under, or if you're staying vertical, that's fine too. Other leg comes out, hand on that hip or down that leg. Inhale, bring this arm up. And then exhale over towards that other foot. Inhale, vertical. Exhale over. Inhale up. And one more time. Exhale over. Inhale up. And then exhale, release that arm down. So you can come all the way down to come back up, or for funsies, walk that foot in front. You curl the toes of that back foot. You can bring your hands on that knee. Push up. And then step the feet together. All right, let's move any blankets or towels out of the way. Get a drink of water at any point if you need it. And then let's do a little bit of, this is downstairs. All right, we'll skip something. All right, let's see. What do we want to start with? Let's start with the feet. So we're going to bring one foot a little bit out in front. You can have your hands on your hips or down by your side. And let's do our arch work. So we're going to pull the big toe and heel towards each other, making that suction cup little action. So you can do that a couple times. Bring it up, release it, bring it up, release it. So we're activating those muscles for stronger feet as we get older. If we wear shoes all the time, those muscles just kind of get a little lax. All right, pinky toe side. We're making that dome on the outside of the foot. Kind of gets neglected. Pull it up and then relax. Pull it up. You can do the big toe probably pretty easily. Try and keep the